actually heading to Sydney. Sydney is about I think it's around about 1,000 kilometers away from me. And I'm heading there to go and talk at Sophie Lee's family photography workshops. I'm really excited about it. I wanted to do a little vlog today and just share behind the scenes. I'm not very good at filming myself. Funny enough, I show up on camera a lot, but I actually don't love showing up on camera. And yeah, it's an interesting parallel. I think today I really wanted to share a few things. One is I've been an educator since 2015. I've been running my own workshops. I've been speaking at some of the biggest stages in the world. I've obviously shown up on social media a lot. I've been in front of the camera a lot. And I still get very nervous before I talk on stage or even in a small room. Like this is only a small room of, I think, 30 people. And I still get nervous every single time. I don't think that goes away. The other thing is, it's quite often that I fly somewhere just for the day, and I get to meet a lot of really cool people because you make all these different connections online, whether that's through Instagram or YouTube or through my coaching course or whatever it is. And you have all these different conversations every single day. Well, I do anyway. And it's so nice to actually put a face to the name and meet some people that you've been talking to or talking with for years. And you finally get to say hello and see if they are the same as what you thought they were. You know, we always like have this perception of what someone is like in our minds. And I think a lot of people have that about me as well. And I think going to a thing like this, where there's like 30 people that know who I am or know of me, they've all got a preconceived notion of me, and they also have expectations of what this, what this is going to be all about, and if it's good enough and everything. So I know when I go to something like this, there's expectations to be met, which gives me extra pressure, and I just hope that I can deliver on it. Today, I'm talking about sales with everybody, and everybody hates talking about sales. So I tend to not be the favorite ever because I kind of go towards doing things that people don't want, but they need. And I know if I just, talk about things that people want, then I'd be more popular. I actually had a conversation with this with a friend the other day, and she was saying how I think outside the box a lot. But unfortunately, thinking outside of the box doesn't make me more popular. In fact, it makes me less popular because those that just speak to what everybody already thinks and they understand, they're the ones that get really popular. So those that go against what you think or what you understand is sometimes challenging your beliefs or your mindset or your strategies or whatever it is. And so it can be really hard to get popular, as a coach or whatever it is, when maybe you're not validating people's ideas. People tend to like to learn from people, not because they're learning something new, but because they're validating themselves. And we all find a certain spot in the world of like what that looks like. So today, I know that everyone doesn't want to learn sales or wants to learn numbers, but I do think it's really, really important. And so I'm going to go over some strategies that I think is going to really help the room and their ability to make a lot more money in their business, which is, I mean, they're all in that room because they're all ready to level up and they want to be the best versions of themselves and they want to find the best clients that they can. And so I want to help in some way bridge that knowledge gap around, what their unrealistic goals are and how can we actually make those happen. And I do believe a lot of that comes down to knowing your numbers and understanding sales. So that's really cool. I probably won't get too much time to film much. I don't have like a videographer with me or anything. I'm just gonna like do a couple of little clips. But I hope that, just me showing up like this maybe inspires you in some way or motivates you, or maybe just behind the scenes of an educator on like what a day looks like when you're cruising around and you've got to fly to another city to go and present, and what that actually looks like. And yeah, of course, before something like this, I'm not very good at preparation, and I usually make my presentation the night before, and I don't really think too much about it because otherwise I wind myself up and I get too nervous and everything. So I made it last night, put everything together, sent it off to them. And now today, whilst I'm on the plane and stuff, I'll have my phone out and I'm just going to write notes on like things that are relevant right now in sales. So it's not like pre-recorded, here's what I need to say. I really like bringing like stories, life experiences, and how can my audience connect deeply with me and then shift their mindset in some way that they understand what I'm actually saying. So then they do implement it. And then from there, they can change everything. So, ready for the journey? Let's go. Oh, and my dog, she's always sleeping around. Hey, Pee. She's actually just gone deaf as well, so I might take her for a walk and she can't actually ever hear me. And how cool is this? I've got a tree in my house. Time to make some breakfast. There we go. I feel like all we have is condiments sometimes. There you are, Pee. You want to go for a walk? Do you want to go for a walk? What are you doing? All right, when it comes to things to packing, I've got a little think tank bag here. I've also got my no skin badge on there. If you don't know, no skin, you should look it up. So things that I'm going to bring is a pair of underwear. I'm not going to bring a spare pair of pants or anything. I'll just wear, I'm only going there for one night. So I will bring a shirt though, so a bit of a relaxed shirt and a singlet because apparently it's getting pretty cold. And the other thing I want to bring is, I actually want to bring my business map book. And I'm going to bring my metamorphosis book as well. Just because when I see people in real life, I love actually showing them my products, so they can actually see what our stuff looks like and the things that we make and everything like that. And I'm also super proud of everything that I do, like all the programs that I've created and all that kind of stuff.
Whole setup for watermelon again. For social media and for that.
Okay, it's day after the workshop. I am in Sydney, just walking around and getting ready for my flight. Just pretty much woke up. It was such a long day yesterday and I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I just wanted to stop in really quickly and talk and recap a little bit about what I talked about yesterday at the actual workshop itself. So I talked about sales and I had a whole presentation, hour-and-a-half presentation on sales. And I love talking about sales. I love it because I think it's such a mystery to so many people. A lot of people think sales is marketing, so they'll say I need to make more sales, so I need to post more on Instagram. But posting on Instagram, of course, is advertising or marketing. It's like gaining attention. Sales is the act of, it's like the invitation to your party. There was quite a few things I went over, but one of the main points that I think really resonated with everybody, there's the Opera House there behind us. So one of the main points that really resonated with everybody was, it's really important that you bring in your personal story. Whether that is something vulnerable or it's something that connects you on a deeper level with your clients. I think it's really important because it helps them create a connection with you, but then it allows them to feel like you know them better. So if they can find a thread that they understand about you, they can make that work about them. And we're all human, and storytelling is one of the most profound ways that we connect as humans. And we can really, when it drives sales, communicating and sharing our story gives the other person the why on why they should work with you. So it's more of an emotional base. I'd love to work with Jai because I feel like I know him and I feel like he would understand me, So if I'm sharing some stories. So yesterday, actually in the presentation, I did share some vulnerable stories. I talked about how, my dad passed away, drug overdose, and I talked about how I went bankrupt when I was 20 and some of the hardest moments in my life. And I noticed as soon as I started talking about those things and I shared those things, I noticed that everybody else let their guard down, So if I'm being vulnerable, how can someone judge me? And everyone goes, oh, even the guy on stage, he's also human and he also goes through the same things that we all go through. And I think that's really important that we create those connections, because as a service-based business, you know, a lot of the times people come to you because they love your art, but when they find out like the deep stories about you, they can actually truly connect, and then you are a one of a kind, you know, so you have stories that no one else has. One thing I think you should, like everyone should do, is actually go and look at a time in their life, like a time, a snippet, whatever it is, where something really interesting happened, and you can share that with other people. Whether that is you're sharing like how you felt in that moment, or what was the actual thing that happened. And if you can do that, you've got it forever, but it's something that nobody can replicate and nobody else can copy. And I think that's like a really, really important thing to have. I've always got like a lot of stories that I can share, and I can share them whenever, but I do write down the stories, like what stories have I got in my life that makes me who I am, and is, you know, it's built all the experiences that I've got over my life. Someone at the workshop said that vulnerability works, and they hate that, but it works. Her name was Stacey, and shout out Stacey. It's really interesting because we all know that it does work, but then we tend to get into business mode, and we want to be a business owner, and we want to be professional, and we put on our blazer and, you know, our suit and all that kind of stuff. You see that behind me. And we get so professional and we forget that, you know, we're a human working with humans. And I think if you get less professional and more yourself and be more personable, you can win the game when it comes to sales. So just a few things to think about, but if you right now have you got like really good, you know, art or photography or whatever it is, and you really struggle with the client experience or with the sales or with the marketing, I think it's important to start putting some time into it, because it's the missing piece of your business that can really help you take your artwork to those that love what you do. And I think that's really important. Just want to give you a quick look around here. So we're in Sydney. What else? Oh, last little tip actually I'll give you is I talked a lot about assumptive selling. Assumptive selling is when you use the language of and the mindset of, I've already booked the client. I think this one's really, really an important one, because a lot of the times when someone gets in touch with us, I want you to think about this. When someone gets in touch with you, they're already sold. They already look at your social media account, they follow you, they love what you do, and then they've reached out and sent you an inquiry, and then we match them sometimes with the wrong energy. We'll say something like, what will we say? We say, oh, hopefully we can work together. You know, like, have a look at my price and see if something works. Instead of assumptive selling is like literally saying to them, when we work together, you know, have a look at my prices. On our call, I'm going to let you know which package is the best fit for you so we can move forward. So assumptive selling is knowing you've already sold the people that have, you know, they got in touch with you in some way, and then using the language and the mindset around that, just get to work. Like, the quicker you get to work and less fluff at the beginning, it cuts time in half for your client, and they know that you're serious, and it shows value. So often people say, like, how do I tell people my value? Well, you don't. You show them your value. And if you can show up and start working straight away, you're showing them the value of what it would be like if they actually did hire you and pay that invoice, and how easy it is compared to everybody else. Because everybody else just sent a price guide saying, like, hopefully we can work together, but you actually went above and beyond and started researching, you know, if you're a wedding photographer, you started researching the venue, the weather, the location, the accommodation, like where to park, like you started researching all the things. And I think that's really important. So assumptive selling, look into it if you don't know, but it helps so many people. And honestly, like, I would say inside my coaching program, the 6-Figure Business Map, it's one of the things that I have seen the biggest shift in our clients when they make so much more money is when they get to work with their clients without expecting them to like pay the invoice or anything. And yeah, maybe sometimes you'll waste 10 minutes getting to work for them straight away, but who cares? Matching their energy is one of the most important things you can do in a sales transaction. Which actually leads me on to the last little thing, just really quickly. A lot of us, we like to be transactional, and that's the kind of space that we come in with selling. And I think we need to be transformational. And we do that, again, from storytelling and actually understanding our clients on a deeper level. If you can get in and really understand your clients, you can transform their experience with whatever it is. So if you say, for instance, you're a wedding photographer or a family photographer, you can make a transformative experience for them, and they're like, wow, this was actually incredible, compared to transactional, where it's just like, here's the price guide and sign the contract and we're done, you know? So I think it's really, really important that, we have that in mind and we think about how can we really transform our clients' mindsets, their beliefs. Maybe it's like the product that you're selling to them, it transforms, them in some way, but transformational. If you can get into that mindset, honestly, everything gets so much easier. Sales is about service, not selling. And we need to make sure that we show up and we serve all of those around us. And if we are the best versions of ourselves, then we're going to get the best version of our client. And I think life gets so much easier when we do that. So I'm gonna go and catch a plane and head back to Byron Bay, and I'm gonna see you shortly. Catching an Uber, going to the airport.